News.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast streaming to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Newer phones are equipped with a feature that automatically dials 911 if there is a heavy impact or repeated impact to the device. It's a feature called Emergency SOS, and DeWitt County Sheriff Mike Walker explains this feature is in most new phones, and it is impacting local first responders.
I believe it's called Emergency SOS. It makes it easier to call 911 on these devices. And, we really hadn't had a much of an issue with that until recently. And last week we had two we had one on a Friday afternoon or Friday morning, then another one on Monday morning. What it is if, you drop your phone from a distance and the phone detects that impact and assumes that you've been in a crash or that you've fallen, and it automatically calls 911. The first incident we had was on like I said, on a Friday morning. Dispatch center received a 911 call from this phone. No response from anybody. Upon callback, no answer. And when they were pinging the location of the phone, it was at an intersection. And so we, being cautious, we assumed that it was possibly an accident and they weren't able to respond. So we rolled out fire, EMS, and deputies were dispatched to it. And then while we're on the way, they finally made contact with the owner of the phone, and she had left the phone on the roof of her car and drove off, fell off the car, and called 911.
Yeah.
And then that was on Friday. Then Monday morning, same thing happened. For some reason, this lady was driving down 51. She's a passenger in the car, and she dropped it out the window. Same situation. No answer on callback. This time we went up there and found them. They were out looking for the phone. But
if this is something you don't want your phone doing, explore your settings in your phone to find out if you can disable the feature. Sheriff Walker says these instances are things they have to take seriously in the event there is an actual emergency.
It is a feature that you can research, and you can turn that off on your phone in the settings, and I believe it is emergency notifications or something along those lines. I'm trying to find. You can go in there and turn that off so it doesn't happen. So like on with Android users, you go to your safety and emergency feature, and then go to emergency SOS and turn that off. And then on iPhone, same thing, emergency SOS. And looks like there's a couple of things you gotta hit with iPhones. I'm not familiar with iPhones. I've never had one, never will. It's something that fortunately and unfortunately we got to take those things seriously, and we see something at an intersection or things like that. Especially in rural areas, we're going to treat it like it's it's an accident or something. Now the situation on Route 51, when that one came in, we were able to assume that it was not an accident, because with the traffic on Route 51, if a car had been in a ditch or been in an accident, we would have been receiving multiple calls on that, like we always did.
Sheriff Walker believes some would view the feature as a nuisance, especially if their phone was to accidentally dial 911. Dispatchers would be unable to reach that person for whatever reason, and the next thing they know, there's a first responder at their door. While he believes it's a good-intentioned feature of our modern devices, he also notes it diverts some of the county's resources to other places. At some point in the next month, Monticello schools will wrap up the turfing project of its football, soccer, baseball, and softball fields. It's been a multi-million-dollar, multi-month effort, and now the question becomes, what is next at Monticello schools? Superintendent Adam Clapp says it's a question being taken up by the school board.
The next step as far as outdoor facilities is a building at the Wilkie complex that will be on the it'll be the northwest corner of the track area, just inside the gate there. That'll be a facility that will house concession stand, restrooms, and a weight room there. We're hoping that we're kind of working on that right now, and hoping that the drawings will be finalized in September to go out to bid in October. And then as far as school facilities, we're working through some different options with BLDD architects, looking at potential for growth at our elementary schools. There's always that potential for growth in our community, and the city has several subdivisions that are going to be developed and are being developed as we speak. So we just want to be mindful of that and have options available if we do need to add on to an elementary school for increased enrollment. We're not there right now, but we are being proactive in looking at those options with our architects. That way, in the case that we would see an influx of students, we'd be able to be flexible and adjust and have plans in place to move forward.
One superintendent called the 1 cent sales tax fast cash, and Clapp points out those dollars in Piatt County have been a huge boost to the ability to take on so much of the work at once.
The sales tax is huge. Obviously, it can be spent on building and facilities, and it's one of those things where we know that through that 1% sales tax, we're going to have about $500,000 to $600,000 in revenue that can be directed towards projects of these sorts. I think when the sales tax was passed years ago, I don't think we anticipated the revenue coming in at this high, but it's one of those things where it allows us to keep our facilities up and running. And, when things break down, we have funds devoted to that to make them right and serve our kids and community.
Some less flashy but still necessary items the district is focused on is security. Clapp says they have a need to improve security in some areas of its campus. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Summer is here, and that means allergies, pink eye, rashes, and earaches. CEO Paul Scourin here from Warner Hospital and Health Services, here with the solution. Come to our walk-in clinic inside family medicine at Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. From summertime allergies and rashes to earaches and even sports injuries, we're here to help and enable you to get better fast. No appointment, no problem at Warner Hospital Walk-in Clinic inside Family Medicine in Clinton.
Hi, this is Connie from Love It Once More Thrift Store in Clinton. To help you enjoy the summer, we have all our shorts and swimsuits 50% off. When you donate here, you help us help local. So come find your treasure. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is Ryan Utterback. Do you know what Utterback Real Estate offers for free?
Free hugs?
No, free market analysis on your property so you know what it's worth.
I kind of like free hugs.
And that's why you're the other Ryan.
Get your free market analysis by clicking the Utterback Real Estate icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
It's no secret that employers are having a difficult time hiring qualified personnel, whether full or part-time. The Miller Media Group wants to help you, the employer, to find the candidates you're looking for. That's why we've created IllinoisJobPost.com. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. This website is part of a broad radio and internet employment campaign available through the Miller Media Group. Contact your account manager or email sales@randyradio.com for more information. IllinoisJobPost.com is where we put the power of radio and the internet to attract prospective candidates.
DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air and online 24 hours a day. The latest local news stories are heard every hour on Central Illinois' news station, the Big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW. Stream live at DeWittDailyNews.com. They're also heard every hour on the station that's your easy choice, 95.9 FM WEZC. And to read the latest local news on your electronic device, including tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online, 24 hours a day.
Talk today.
With SRN Sports, I'm Ron DeRockstra. Baseball finals from yesterday. The Mariners shut out the Giants 6-0. Astros 4-1 over the Rockies. Phillies beat the Rays 3-1. 10th straight road win for Philly. Mariners over the Giants 6-0. Astros top the Rockies 4-1. Red Sox lose to the Rangers 6-2. There was a hour 47 minute rain delay in the game in Boston. Braves beat the Guardians in 10 innings 6-5. Padres 8-5 over the Angels. The Twins down the Royals 9-3. Orioles fall to the Yankees 8-4. Blue Jays beat the White Sox 4-3. The A's edged the Tigers 1-0. Mets 8-5 over the Diamondbacks. Marlins beat the Cardinals 15-2, while the Reds beat the Nationals 8-4. Pirates beat the Dodgers. Final score in that contest was 9-7. This is SRN Sports. Sergio Garcia will not be going to the British Open for the first time since he was a 17-year-old amateur in 1997. Garcia now plays for Live Golf, and his only path to the Open was a 36-hole qualifier. and he shot rounds of 67 and 71 and missed the cut by 3 shots. 3 live players, though, did make it through: Charles Schwartzel, Brandon Grace, and Laurie Cantor. The British Open is July 20th through the 23rd at Royal Liverpool. Belgian rider Jasper Philipsen won a mass sprint to earn a second straight stage victory at the Tour de France, while Adam Yates kept the race leader's yellow jersey heading into the Pyrenees Mountains. And the Mexican Soccer Federation issuing a statement condemning violence among fans after one Mexico fan was stabbed and another at a Sunday match. The violence came at a stadium in Santa Clara, California, where Mexico's national team lost 1-0 to Qatar. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. The high school football season gets its unofficial start in July with camps, workouts, and 7-on-7s. Tonight, Monticello High School hosts its first 7-on-7 of the month. The Sages host 7-on-7 competitions each Wednesday evening in July. Coach Cully Welter really puts a lot on the schedule for his team in the month of July.
Yeah, so July's pretty heavy for us. We'll have our Wednesday night 7-on-7s, which we've done for about 7 or 8 years now, where we host three teams, like 3 games, and 3 different teams each week. And then we've got a couple of 7-on-7 tournaments. We go to Muhammad in the middle of July, and then towards the end of July, we go to Washington. We've done that. That's an overnight trip for us and kind of make it a fun trip. The kids go bowling and hang out. Again, kind of a bonding experience. We have our camp. We're going to Knox College this year, and for a 3-day camp in the middle of July, and then we've got a couple other things that we do. But it's a pretty heavy schedule for us in July.
For the Hall of Fame coach, he looks to the 7-on-7 competitions to install offense and work on their defensive schemes.
I think a lot of the goal is installation and getting reps, so that when we roll around to practice in August, that we don't have to spend a ton of time going over the play concepts, particularly in the passing game. So yeah, we want to get a lot of things installed. We do want to kind of, any new concepts that we like, we would like to use 7-on-7 to sort of tell us if it's something we want to pursue going forward. The last thing you want to do is spend a lot of time on a new play all the way through August and then get the first game and scrap it. So that's the nice thing about 7-on-7 is you get an idea of, hey, this is something we really like, and we'll keep working on it. Otherwise, let's move on. So, yeah, there's a lot of benefit to 7-on-7, both offensively and defensively. I think we can get our coverages down as well before we get into practice in August.
Coach Welter has always touted the fact he gets terrific buy-in during the spring and summer workout schedule, particularly from athletes that are not involved in other sports. He says 7-on-7s are the same way.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's important that your kids are there, and yeah, absolutely, because otherwise, you don't want 75% of the team on board, and then you're still working with the other 25% to get them caught up to get on pace. So yeah, it's definitely important for them to be there. I can't say enough about our kids' participation this summer. It's really good. They're very good about communicating conflicts, but yeah, we get pretty good buy-in, and you're right. I feel like even for me as a coach, I really enjoy 7-on-7. It's a little more laid back. It's still competition, but it's a great opportunity to get some things done and have fun at the same time.
Monticello will host the 7-on-7 competitions on its new turf at the main football field on campus. Coach Welter has been very pleased with the way that renovation that was completed during the spring has improved their summer programming. In a game heard here on WHOW, Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit a 2-run homer in the 8th inning, and the Toronto Blue Jays edged the White Sox 4-3 on Tuesday night.
The White Sox return home to Guaranteed Rate Field on July 4th to start series with the Blue Jays. They dropped the first of 3 games 4-3, but Luis Robert Jr., who has been making magic happen all season long, continues his all-star campaign with a 25th home run of his season.
Here it comes. Swing and a blast. Deep left center. It's gone. And they lead 3-2.
Sox got a really good start from Lucas Giolito. 6 innings, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He got a no decision. Blue Jays closer Jordan Romano shut down the White Sox 1-2-3 in the ninth to preserve a 1-run lead. Sox will do it again on Wednesday night against the Blue Jays. Our pregame show at 6:30 and first pitch at 7:10 on Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
In some White Sox injury news, right-hander Michael Kopech, who is sidelined with right shoulder inflammation, remains on course to return soon after the All-Star break, according to GM Rick Hahn. The team planned to give him some extra rest, but decided to put him on the 15-day injured list after a loss to the Angels last week. Third baseman Yohan Moncada, who is dealing with lower back inflammation, will continue to ramp up activity in hopes he will be ready for a rehab assignment following the All-Star break. The Sox hope to have closer Liam Hendriks, who is out with right elbow inflammation, throwing off a mound by the weekend. And Hahn says right-hander Mike Clevenger is expected to throw a sideline session on Saturday. He is dealing with right bicep inflammation. Assuming no setbacks, he is set to return after the All-Star break. And again, hear tonight's action right here on WHOW. Left fielder Ian Happ threw out 2 runners at the plate in extra innings, and the Chicago Cubs pulled out a wild 7-6 win over the Milwaukee Brewers in 11 innings Tuesday after squandering a late lead for the second consecutive game. Dansby Swanson homered. Miguel Amaya hit a 2-run double to help the Cubs build a 6-2 cushion, but the Brewers scored twice in the 8th and twice more in the 9th to tie the game. In the bottom of the 10th, pinch hitter Andrew Monasterio was placed at second base as the automatic runner. He tried to score the winning run on Owen Miller's one-out single to left, but was cut down at home by Happ on a call that stood. Following a replay review, Miller was thrown out trying to advance to second, ending the inning. Chicago went ahead in the 11th. Automatic runner Cody Bellinger moved to third with 1 out on a wild pitch by Clayton Andrews after Amaya struck out. Nico Horner beat out an infield single to put the Cubs up a run. With 1 out in the bottom half, Miller tried to tag up from third and score the tying run on Bryce Terang's pop fly to left, but was thrown out at the plate by Happ to end the game, setting off a celebration as the Cubs players poured out of the dugout, halting a 3-game skid. Kyle Hendricks gave Chicago a solid start, and Daniel Palencia got the win in his big league debut. Hendricks gave up 4 hits and 2 runs. 1 was earned in 6 innings. He walked 1 and struck out 5. The loss drops Milwaukee to a game behind first place Cincinnati in the NL Central after the Reds beat the Nationals 8-4 earlier in the day. The Cubs place infielder Nick Madrigal on the 10-day injured list with a right hamstring strain and activated Patrick Wisdom from the 10-day injured list. Brad Boxberger was transferred to the 60-day injured list. All-Star lefty Justin Steele starts today for the Cubs opposite Adrian Hauser in the 3rd game of the 4-game set. Steele is 1-2 with a 2.23 ERA in 11 career games and 10 starts versus the Brewers, while Hauser is 1-2 with a 5.14 ERA in 6 career starts against the Cubs. Jesus Sanchez homered, singled twice, and had 4 RBIs as the Marlins beat the Cardinals 15-2 in another short outing by starter Adam Wainwright on Tuesday. Jorge Soler and Joey Wendell each doubled twice. Garrett Cooper went deep and had 2 singles for the Marlins, who finished with a season high in runs against Wainwright and 4 relievers. Marlins starter Jesus Luzardo struck out 8 in 6 scoreless innings. Miami's Luis Arias went 1 for 3 and walking twice, dropping his big league batting average to .387. Wainwright had his 3rd consecutive outing of less than 4 innings. He was lifted after consecutive 1-out walks in the 4th. The 41-year-old gave up 7 runs, 4 were earned, and 7 hits. Position players Alec Burleson and Jacob Stallings pitched for the Cardinals and the Marlins. Burleson got the last 2 outs of the 8th, and Stallings allowed Lars Nootbaar's RBI single, while Tommy Edman had a sac fly in the 9th. The Cardinals have not announced a starter for the 3rd game of the series Wednesday, while the Marlins will turn to right-hander Brian Hoeing. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hey everybody, Buddy Wilson here, your new country financial agent in Clinton. It's no secret that rates are going up industry-wide. With weather challenges nationwide last year and rate increases held out due to COVID pandemic, carriers including Country Financial are raising rates. While we can't do anything about the rate increases, we can soften the blow by revising your existing coverage to see how we can help. And remember, we offer personal service you can expect and deserve from a local agent. Come see me, Buddy Wilson, your new country financial agent in Clinton, where personal service is priority number one.
Central Illinois' leading online source for local news, police blotter, for the record information, obituaries, and more is DeWittDailyNews.com. Since 2008, DeWittDailyNews.com has delivered fresh, online content to internet readers. From the City Council, to School Board, to the County Board, and more, DeWittDailyNews.com covers the local news you expect from the area's #1 local news source, and it's all absolutely free. Now you have even more ways to access DeWittDailyNews.com. Whether you're at your desktop, laptop, tablet, iPhone, or smartphone, DeWittDailyNews.com is delivered to all those platforms. That's right. It's even there on your iPhone and smartphone. The same local news, weather, and sports that's on the full-size edition is on your iPhone and smartphone just by going to DeWittDailyNews.com. If you haven't tried it, why don't you go to Central Illinois' leading online source for local news, Police Blotter, for the record information,